NASA has been studying space since 1958. Billions of dollars, thousands of scientists, and nearly 70 years of looking outward into the universe. And in that time, they have found some genuinely incredible things. Proof of water on Mars, the first images of black holes, entire new worlds orbiting distant stars. But they've also found some things that are a lot harder to explain away. Things that, once you understand what they actually are, make the universe feel a lot less friendly than it did before. Let's go through 7 of them, starting with the uncomfortable ones and working our way to the ones that are much harder to shake off. In 1989, the Voyager 2 spacecraft flew past Neptune and took a close look at its largest moon, Triton. And what it found was strange. Triton orbits Neptune backwards. Every other large moon in the solar system orbits in the same direction as its planet rotates. Triton goes the opposite way, which means it almost certainly didn't form alongside Neptune. It came from somewhere else, got captured by Neptune's gravity at some point billions of years ago, and has been locked in ever since. But here is the part that matters. Because Triton orbits backwards, Neptune's gravity is very slowly pulling it closer. It is losing orbital energy with every pass, and in roughly 3.6 billion years, Triton will get close enough that Neptune's tidal forces will tear it apart completely, destroying it and scattering the debris into a ring system around Neptune. Neptune's own gravity is going to rip its largest moon to pieces, slowly, inevitably, and there is nothing either of them can do about it. In 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University picked up a signal from space. It was so unusual that the astronomer monitoring the data wrote the word "wow" next to it in red pen, which is how it got its name. The "wow" signal lasted 72 seconds, which was the maximum the telescope could observe given how it scanned the sky, and it has never been detected again since. The signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, roughly 120 to 180 light years away. It matched almost perfectly with what scientists at the time predicted a signal of extraterrestrial origin would look like. The frequency, the intensity, the pattern, all of it fit. NASA and other organizations have pointed telescopes at that region of sky hundreds of times since 1977. Nothing. The signal appeared once, matched every criteria for something we had never encountered before, and then disappeared completely and has never come back. Nobody has explained it. There are theories, a hydrogen cloud, a comet, a satellite, but none of them fully account for what was detected that night. The WOW signal remains the strongest candidate for a detected extraterrestrial transmission in human history, and we have absolutely no idea what it was. In 2015, NASA's Kepler Space Telescope was monitoring a star called KIC 8462852, roughly 1,400 light-years from Earth. Kepler's job was to watch for dips in starlight, small dimming events that indicate a planet passing in front of a star. Normal planets cause small, regular, predictable dips. What Kepler found around this star was nothing like that. The star was dimming by up to 22% at irregular intervals in patterns that didn't match any known natural phenomenon. Not a planet, not a dust cloud, not any standard astronomical explanation. The dimming was too large, too irregular, and too unusual to fit any model scientists had ready. The leading natural explanation is a swarm of comets or unusual dust formations, but the data has never been fully explained to everyone's satisfaction, and one of the theories that kept circulating among astronomers, the one that nobody wanted to say out loud at first, was that the dimming could be consistent with an enormous artificial structure orbiting the star. Something mega-scale, something constructed. It is still officially unexplained. The star is still being monitored. The dimming continues to behave in ways that don't fit neatly into any existing natural category. In the 1990s, NASA contributed to a discovery that fundamentally changed our understanding of the universe and has not stopped being disturbing since. Scientists studying distant supernovae expected to find that the expansion of the universe was slowing down. Gravity pulls things together. The universe exploded outward from the Big Bang, and logically, over billions of years, that expansion should be decelerating. It wasn't. It was accelerating. The universe is not slowing down. It is expanding faster and faster, and whatever is causing that acceleration has been named dark energy. It makes up roughly 68% of everything in the universe. We cannot see it, detect it directly, or explain what it actually is. We know it exists because of what it does. It is pushing the universe apart at an increasing rate. But beyond that, almost nothing about it is understood. Everything NASA has ever studied, every star, planet, galaxy, nebula, black hole, and asteroid makes up less than 5% of what actually exists. The other 95% of the universe is something we cannot see, cannot touch, and do not understand. In 1983, the IRAS infrared telescope discovered something unusual in the constellation Orion, a large, warm object moving slowly through space with no obvious source. It was picked up by multiple telescopes. Initial reports described it as possibly a large, dark, planet-like body, closer to our solar system than any known star. The story made international news for a short period before being quietly walked back as the data was reanalyzed and reclassified. But the concept it pointed toward, rogue planets, turned out to be very real. NASA and other agencies have since confirmed that rogue planets exist in enormous numbers. These are planet-sized objects that have been ejected from their solar systems through gravitational interactions and now drift through the galaxy completely alone, with no star, no orbit, no light, just enormous dark masses moving silently through space. Some estimates suggest there could be billions of rogue planets in the Milky Way alone, possibly more rogue planets than there are stars. They are almost impossible to detect because they emit no light and reflect nothing. They are invisible until they are extremely close. And by the time instruments pick one up, it could already be within our solar system's range of influence, disrupting orbits, redirecting comets toward the inner solar system, and doing so without any warning. We would likely not see one coming until it was already affecting us. And by that point, preparation time would be measured not in decades, but in years, maybe less. In 2004, NASA scientists doing routine analysis of asteroid tracking data identified an asteroid called 99,942 Apophis. Initial calculations suggested it had a 2.7% chance of hitting Earth in 2029. To put that in context, before Apophis, no asteroid of that size had ever been given odds above 0.1%. A 2.7% impact probability on a 370-meter wide rock caused enough concern that it briefly topped the Triton scale, the system used to categorize asteroid threats, at a level that had never been reached before. Further observations reduced the 2029 impact probability to near zero. But the calculations revealed something else. In 2029, Apophis will pass so close to Earth that it will travel through the belt of geostationary satellites orbiting the planet, closer than those satellites, visible to the naked eye from certain parts of the world, and as it passes, Earth's gravity will alter its trajectory. That altered trajectory creates another close approach in 2036, and further analysis was needed for years to rule out that pass as an impact risk as well. Apophis is currently considered safe for the foreseeable future. In 1995, the Hubble Space Telescope pointed at a tiny patch of sky in the constellation Ursa Major. A patch of sky so small it would be covered by a grain of sand held at arm's length, a region that appeared to contain nothing. No visible stars, no known objects, just empty space. Hubble stared at that empty patch for 10 consecutive days. What came back was the Hubble Deep Field image, and inside that tiny patch of apparently empty sky were approximately 3,000 objects, almost all of them galaxies, each galaxy containing hundreds of billions of stars, each of those stars potentially surrounded by planets. Since then, deeper and longer observations have been done, including the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, and most recently the James Webb Space Telescope's first deep field image, which revealed thousands of galaxies in a region of sky even smaller than a grain of sand, some of them so distant their light took over 13 billion years to reach us. The number of worlds out there is not large. It is effectively beyond counting. And in all of that, in that incomprehensible scale of stars and planets and time, the fact that we have found no evidence of anyone else out there is not reassuring. It is the most unsettling data point of all. The universe is unimaginably full, and it is completely silent. So that's 7 things NASA has found. NASA has been looking outward for nearly 70 years, and the more it finds, the less certain everything becomes.